There are lots of traditions that seniors have. It's a really momentous time in anyone's life. They're finishing high school, they're finishing college, and there are all kinds of rituals and traditions associated with that. But senior chords are fairly unique to Indiana. We're finding that there may have been a little bit of overlap with neighboring states, but it was mostly an Indiana tradition. It started apparently in the 1920s with male college fraternity members. The idea was that when they were approaching their graduation, there were rituals associated with that senior year. And one of the rituals was that the freshmen had to find the seniors on campus, steal their pants, and decorate them. And then the seniors would, of course, wear those pants, and it was a big honor to have these chords. By the 1920s, men could mostly buy things ready-made. And we do have advertisements from the 1930s and 40s telling young men, hey, we have senior chords available at our department store. Come and buy your pair and get ready to decorate them. And some stores like Resnick's, for example, actually sponsored competitions. $100 for the best pair of senior chords. So men, by and large, did go buy their senior chords and they would have them decorated. When women started wearing senior chords, which seems to have started to happen at least around the 1940s, in many cases women were still making their own clothing. So many of the women's clothing pieces that we have, for one thing, they're a little more varied. They're not just pants, they are skirts, they're dresses. We even have some vests. We have a couple of hats that are decorated as senior chord clothing, but a lot of those pieces were handmade. By the 1940s, it had become a high school tradition. Baby boom generation, 1950s, definitely 1960s, is when it was the real heyday of senior chords because it was a huge generation of teenagers with the time and resources to be able to purchase and decorate chords. And so that is by far the bulk of the pieces that we have. So those early chords, the designs tend to be made in ink. And they're usually just two colors, like black ink on cream-colored chords. However, post-World War II, there were some new materials that were invented. Acrylic paint became accessible, and all of a sudden, that gave artists a lot more options. And the symbols started to morph into things like, what are some events that were meaningful to me? What clubs do I belong to? Like Home Economics Club, Future Farmers of America. You also see things like books listing the subjects that they're taking in school. And they wanted to represent all of those things. The tradition did continue after the 60s, so we do also have some pairs from the 70s and even a couple from the 1980s. But it was definitely starting to fade away by then. And from the surveys, as best we can tell, the reason was that they were starting to become controversial. So schools tried different kinds of policies, but some ultimately decided just to get rid of the tradition altogether. There were a lot of people who did keep their senior chords because, had their friends' names. It was something that was made just for them. It was a really special memory. And so we know that there are a lot of people who still have these chords in their closets. We all wear clothes, but not everyone thinks much about what they wear, cares about what they wear. But it definitely is a medium for self-expression. And these chords are an amazing example of that. And it was a particular time in life where people had a reason to care about what they were wearing. So that means that we have a wider range than normal of examples from different kinds of people. But it absolutely is a fantastic example of self-expression. It's also a really interesting example of kind of amateur art, and not just making clothing, but actually decorating that clothing. And what skills did people have? What were they experimenting with? What was so important to them that they wanted to show on their clothing? They're really incredible examples of that.